Morning, everybody. Monday. Doing a little tapping with the head bolts here, or the block for the head bolts. Had to order some parts for this. Gonna need some rings and some other stuff. So gotta get some parts coming. Pull that out. Make sure it didn't just break. It is a snap-on though, it shouldn't. Some of these were pretty nasty. I guess they got a bunch of sealer in them or something, but definitely needed to be tapped. So I got the crank in there. Bearings are all good. Got to take the crank back out, put the seal in, march the block, paint everything, but got all that done. I'm waiting on a set of rings so I can file fit the rings, and then we'll be ready to assemble. But we got a good start on it yesterday. We mic'd the crank, made sure it was straight, and did a video of that. I don't know, I might put that up, get Hans to edit them together, because this stuff's pretty boring. But anyway, my tap holder broke, so I'm having to use these vice grips. But anyway, like I was saying, the crank's good. She's torqued in there, she spins really nice, everything's good there. And once I get these holes cleaned up, I'll wipe the deck off, and I already hung the block. So we'll go ahead and paint it, put the freeze plugs in after I get all the holes tapped here. And we'll be waiting on the rings, some head gaskets, and just stuff like that. I need to get an oil pump stud, and a cam, and some lifters.
Who are you talking to?
Camera.
Oh, I didn't see it on. I was like...
You should know by now after a year who I'm talking to.
Alright, so
YouTube
you need
Garage.
price on rings, brass free plugs. What else?
Rings, brass freeze plugs. Tell her I don't have a milling catalog. But something with like 550 lift somewhere in there. You know, 2,500 to 6,500 RPM range. It's got a gear, it's got a header, it's got intake manifold. Tell her I know she's not a speed shop, but if she could look it up in the book for me, I know she's more than capable. So.
Okay, well, I mean, so you want me to call Dawn first and not Deland Auto Parts?
Dawn would be much better because I don't have a milling book, and she's not going to probably be able to go through the book and find something for you, and they're going to be expensive. So I'm doing this on a budget.
Okay, rings, brass freeze plugs, the cam, 2,500 to 6,500 RPM range.
Yep.
Lifters too?
Yeah, cam lifter kit, and it's got to be a solid cam. Tell her Ron did the head, it's for solid, so I need a mechanical solid, not a hydraulic.
Okay.
Alright.
Just that?
What is that?
Rings, the freeze plugs, the cam, and the lifters. That's all I'm talking
Yep,
about.
and then you, yeah, because I think I might just run over to, or what is it, over here in the checker line, starting line, finish line engines?
Express Engines, the
Express
machine shop?
Yeah, Express Engines, and see if they have a set of head bolts, used head bolts for sale or something, so you get an ARP,
Okay, and what is the name of this place where Dawn works?
What is it?
It's Mr. something, isn't it? That's why you guys used to call it MR or something.
Yeah, it's MR.
But it's not.
That's all I know. You better call Uncle Ronnie.
Oh, and
Where's Ron? Is he coming for Christmas?
he did Thanksgiving with Kyle and then worked that night. Nancy said okay.
She likes that? Okay, well then we need to talk about buying some clear, buying the gallon of paint, and mixing all that up. So I
Well,
need
the
some
clear's here already, right? The AG40.
No, I gotta buy all that stuff. I need
Okay.
cash for everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I invested, I already bought it, but I'd like to get paid before I crack it open and start painting the inside of the car.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's Christmas. Mama needs some cash.
I understand that.
All right.
I gotta pull the formula to see what I need to buy for toners too.
Well, that's what I'm saying, we need to do that, so we can, you know, do that too, because we gotta go to MR, you can just go get a check from him for the paint and stuff, the bed liner kit.
Okay.
'Cause I'm, no cash out of hand at this point, cash in hand. Anyway, that's where we're at. I got the crate out there, out front of the building, all tarped up, ready to ship. And that's done. The Porter project's finished. And it's coming to a town near you. So that'll be cool. He'll get his motor, get it all in the car and everything. And I've had a couple people ask me about building motors for him, and I haven't not seen your email. I will get back with you. It's a little crazy, but I would be interested in building. Somebody mentioned they had a 73 and they needed a motor built for that. I could do that for you. And somebody wanted to know how much it cost to build a 1914, and I did. I wrote all the parts down that we bought, and I got a parts list. I didn't, you know, figure in any of the labor, so I can tell you what the parts cost used. You know, some of those parts are used. New parts would be more. I like to suggest the engine kit from CB Performance. You know, they start at about $3,900 the kits, and they go up to about $5,100, I think, depending on what size motor you want. And then all you have to do is get somebody to assemble it for you. You know, all the parts are sourced. You got everything you need to build your motor, your hardware kit, your case, your piston cylinders, your cylinder heads. Everything's already matched and ready to be assembled. So that's the best way. It's sort of hard to source all those parts for a build, you know. I mean, it's you got to go have the case cut, you got to have the heads cut. I was able to get the heads cut and the case cut all in one spot. Still, though, you know, you buy a used case, a couple $100 for a case, and it was $250 for the machine work to have the case cut and the heads cut out. So, you know, you're up there when you start accumulating the used parts and having the machine work done. So I think you're almost better off to buy the engine kit. I know, just roughly in used parts, and we're talking about $2,200, you know. So, you know, if you just accumulate everything for a real good deal, you're going to be around $2,000 by the time you got a running motor. And it might cost people more than that because parts are, you know, some parts are more here, some parts are cheaper. But as a rule, you know, you can figure about $3 grand for a turnkey motor with all the sheet metal and carburetors. And that's cheap. I think a Volkswagen 1600 long block now is about $2,300 for a 1600. And you get a short block or a long block in the crate, you know. You got to go have that put in somewhere. You got to have the heads torqued down, and so you can definitely rebuild a Chevrolet much cheaper than you can rebuild a Volkswagen motor. I don't see any economy builds on YouTube on Volkswagens. There's no such thing. Once you do all the machine work, buy the spacers, buy the new parts, the piston cylinders, the bearings, the cam, the lifters, the gear, the oil pump, everything that you're going to need, it adds up. So I'll try to do, you know, I did it one time for a guy. He wanted to build a motor, and I figured out all the prices, and I know he wanted a 1915 with a good set of CB Performance heads. The CB Performance heads are about $680, $700 to the door. You have to take them apart when you get them and lap the valves in, check the valve guide clearance, and, you know, make sure you got proper spring travel and all that stuff still. But so figure around $700 for a good set of heads. And I think once we added everything up, we were at about $3,800. And he decided not to build a Volkswagen, so, which is you get that a lot, you know, and you'll get the guy that tries to go and do it cheaper, and then they have the not so good luck, and they don't like Volkswagens anymore, and that's what happens, you know. So there's all kinds of ways to build them. You know, I know Scooter's motors probably are in the high performance motors are probably in the $10 to $7,500 range. You know, if you want a really good crank, good set of rods, something that you can turn 10,000 RPM, you know, it's gonna run you. But if you just want a nice street motor, you know, you can build a low RPM, big motor torque monster nowadays. Pretty relatively cheap, you know. I've been around it for a long time, so I know what the stuff costs. I mean, when I was a kid, a Berg crank was 1,500 bucks, you know. I don't think they're much cheaper. You can even get one now used. You know, the one-piece forged 86 strokes or the 80, you know, the big ones. Or Molenex, or, you know, a set of Potter rods, you know, you start buying that kind of stuff and you can spend some cash fast. But you need that kind of stuff if you're going to run it really super hard, though. So my customers don't run their cars like that. And other than me, you know, I run my car like that, but I got all those good parts in my car too. So if I was to go to CB Performance and buy an engine kit for my car, it'd blow up probably about 800 foot, you know, maybe sooner. I don't know. But you know, I could build the motor the same exact size and everything, it just wouldn't have the durability. So we'll put some prices together for you. I saw a couple guys that want prices and stuff, and I'll work on that for you. Right now I'm just trying to get caught up on some of the stuff that's been laying around, you know. And the engine kit is my best advice. I know that there's a couple companies that sell them, you know. CB Performance is probably the most reputable and the most complete kit, because you get everything. You get the case, all the hardware, you know, everything that people don't think about that you need to put the motor together will be in that kit. And all the little dowel pins, the gasket kits, the gland nut for the flywheel, just everything's matched and ready for you. So and if you buy a kit and you need help putting it together, you know, I can help you online. You can probably do it yourself if you watch my videos. The most important thing is getting the flywheel tight, you know. High performance motor, they usually get torqued up to about 650 foot-pounds, so you want to make sure that you have a bar to tighten the gland nut. Usually when you try to pound on it with the impact wrench to that tightness, it breaks the nut. So there's a few little tricks, you know, that you'll need to know. But if you're just building a little 1915 or 1776 or something small, can definitely help you online. And we can probably get it done together over the internet. But the key is good parts, and if you're going to assemble it yourself, you know, you spend that extra money on the parts. If you don't have to buy the labor, don't cheap out and buy the cheap parts. You know, buy a little better parts, and you'll be way happy. You know, you can buy an engine kit and maybe replace the crank with a scat crank, and sell the engine kit crank. But you call me on the phone, we can work it out, and I'll go through all the stuff with you, go down the list of stuff. But yeah, so I got a little bit of an idea, because it's fresh. And I had a pad out here. I was just scribbling down as I would buy stuff, you know. I just write it down, and Andrea cleaned it all up and put it on a piece of paper. So I usually keep track, you know. When I buy parts, I just don't feel it, because usually I'm trading it out when I do a tranny, you know. The cash doesn't exchange, you know. It's basically I give them a tranny and I go get some parts. But when you put it all on paper, it sure hurts. So, but you know, that's the other thing. You got to have a good parts store too. You know, I like Triangle's pretty good. I know that they'll ship some stuff they're sort of just getting into that, so I'm trying to get them up to time, you know, where they can have an online thing, but you know, they really don't want it. They're an old company, but they give us pretty good service here. You know, that's our parts place. You know, if you're in Cali or, you know, out there in Ohio, you got Larry's, and there's a couple different places, and they generally all sell the same stuff, you know. Bug Pack would be the better quality if you can find somewhere that sells Bug Pack stuff, or you know, the MP sort of the entry level. If you're not going to run it real hard and you just want some displacement and you build the motor smart, you can use that stuff, but you just have to be careful, you know. There's some little quirks with the aluminum cases that I've tried to make videos on and show you guys, you know, shit you have to do. And one side of the motor's decked further than the other. That's the kind of stuff you don't get when you buy the CB Performance case. It's all laid out for you, you know. So, and they're pretty good when you talk to them. They got good customer service. You know, if you need push rods, rocker arms, any of that stuff, they have all the components that you need to complete the engine, either in kit form or pieces at a time. Sometimes it is hard to buy from them, though, from what I've heard. You know, they have a couple different big companies that sell some of their products, so you just got to look around for their stuff. I'll probably cut this off because nobody wants to see a video of me tapping holes. I mean, this is pretty boring, right? But yeah, we'll get these tapped up. Andrew's going to make me up some paint. I'm going to paint this block. And we'll get this thing assembled and put it in a bag, and it'll be ready for the car. You know, components. Try to build them all up and snap it together like a model. So I need to get the as soon as I get the motor done, I need to dig out the Turbo 400 and build it. There's no problem with it. I know it works good. It just needs to be freshened up. So we're just going to put some gaskets and some friction plates, and I don't even think it needs a shift kit. I think it's already done. So basically just going to freshen that up because it's been sitting out, and we'll go with that tranny just because it'll be bulletproof. I do have a Turbo 350 with a tranny brake and stuff, but I've been told that that's not good for the street, so we'll save that for another project. These holes are in serious need of some loving with this tap. So anyway, hopefully we can get some parts sourced today and keep this going. And you heard her, I got the okay on the color for the car, so we'll be definitely working on that. I already got it pulled around, sitting behind you. And I got my car out front here. Got it running yesterday with the key. Got the charging system working. Got the headlights working. Got one tail light to run down, but we're getting closer on the Blue Beetle. It's just about ready to drive. Got to bleed the brakes still. And I bought some more gas for the bus. We got to get back on it. We're almost done with it too, other than the paint. So everything's coming together. I think I work better under pressure. So the more pressure there is, the better it goes. It seems like. It seems like when times are fat and happy, you don't get much done. And so, lean's good sometimes. Just sucks at Christmas time, you know. But we'll get through it, and at least I'm getting caught up on my projects. And now that we got a color pick, that'll give me a little something to do. And hopefully I can get that done before Christmas. I got this car here behind you to get painted before Christmas, and Musty One's parents' bus needs to go. They come back 2 days before Santa comes. So that'll be Andrea's Christmas. So we got to get it finished. And I got that pulled around, and that's in the back shed there, and we're probably gonna work on that back there. So I got to get set up, and we'll do some videos back there and get that going. We do have to bring it back around here once I get it painted, and probably do the dog legs, the floors, the wheel wells, and weld some metal in there because they're a little rusty. Alright, let me turn this off because I got a few more holes to go. And I mean, how many holes do you want to watch me tap? So we'll get this painted, get some freeze plugs, and we'll turn you back on when we get the cam and timing chain and all that stuff going.